that is something that I wanted to talk about, I guess, because the dynamic, or I guess the general goals of the band have clearly shifted since the beginning up
Mhm.
until now, right? Because in the beginning it was very kind of outwardly said that it was not going to be like a nonstop touring band, and that you
Yeah.
guys weren't going to do the grind, and that was not what you guys were aiming for. But now I'm hearing, hey, let's do 100 shows a year. Can you kind of speak to that transition, I guess, of how it was in the beginning and going into a more let's go all out?
For sure. Yeah, that was my bad, man. I didn't want to at first. Like I was mainly concerned with just making like a cool deathcore band with a Hunter and Whittle, because like we'd been talking about it like for a little bit. Like we were exchanging like our first demos, like I don't know, like a half a year before RGS ever came out. Like more than that, actually. It was like 9 months. Like that's when psychoframe was like really kind of conceptualizing. So like fall 2022. And yeah, whenever we like were first putting it out and everything, it was very much just like, I've never been in a deathcore band. Whittle's never been in a deathcore band. And like, like we both kind of come from that world and moved on into other things. Like we never like really participated like full blown in that. And like, yeah, I don't know. We just wanted to make something that we had wanted to hear from the genre. And then it came out and it got some traction, more than we thought it would. And then we were like, okay, I guess we can look at playing shows and stuff.
Let's do
And
4.
then,
Yeah.
yeah. We were like, we'll look at playing some shows, but wouldn't it be like pretty baller to put out a second EP in the same year? And not the logistically smartest move to do, to put out an EP in December. Like that's it. Nothing else is like kind of releasing at that time. They're like, this is the end of the year kind of thing. But like, it at least gives you a moment to like sit alone. Nothing else is releasing, December 8th kind of thing. And then, yeah, we were like, we'll do our first couple headlining shows. Before we even got those shows, we had already gotten like the Spite Body Snatcher offer, already got like the Dying Fetus shows. So we were like, okay, when we started the band, playing with Dying Fetus was like, to us, we were like, oh, it'd be so cool if we pulled one of those off, right? Just one show, something like that. Yeah. Because the band is so influenced by the band. And then, lo and behold, like, we kind of like round out the end of a tour for them. So it's like a dream come true in a way.
Was that you guys? Because on the Spite tour is the same thing. You guys only did like a portion of those tours. Were those slotted as regional spots, or were you guys like, nah, we don't want to do the full thing?
I will say that like if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. Hey man. If I remember correctly,
I'll be sure to clip this part. Yeah.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, we were offered the whole Spite Body Snatcher tour. But again, my bad, man. I was not really about this life. I'm a little bit older, and I'm a homeowner, stuff like that, and yeah, the married man, love it. It's all chill. And I was like, yeah, I still don't know if I'm about that life, but this thing keeps kind of getting away from me a little bit, and I'm very thankful for it, because like, like historically, I just mentioned earlier, I was like, yeah, Church Tongue has no hits, like, I don't have like a big resume or anything like that. And, I was just in it for love of the game. But now as we're like, once we kind of linked up with Sharp Tone, things like that, you kind of see the moment presenting itself. You see more things come, we played Knock Loose's CD release show in Louisville. We did Metal Fest, stuff like that. And more things kind of keep coming across the table like this. I'm like, we really have something right now that we kind of got to do, don't we? And it could be really cool. And that's exciting. So, And I hope the record reflects that and reflects like how hungry we are to do that.
Right. The excitement out of all of that.
Yeah. Because I'm excited.
It's cool.
That's cool, man.
Might be the best way to go about it though, because doing it for the love and not really knowing, and then people are talking by themselves, you know what I mean, like the fans have spoken type thing, it's just like, oh, they won it, so like you don't really have, because I feel like so many people probably starts with the opposite. It needs to work. We need to make sure people. So like you do everything with tons of pressure and just like we want to do the touring life and that's all you do and you're stressed out. As opposed to you guys, we're just like, let's do something good. Let's just like let's do the best we can together and stuff. And then next thing you know, everybody's talking about it and doing super well. And you guys are seen as the like there's a huge resurgence of what we used to call like MySpace deathcore and like more of the raw version of deathcore, and you guys are seen as like the leader of that almost, you know what I mean, like with the super brutal deathcore. I remember seeing all the comments of people saying like that's the deathcore I miss, that's what I always wanted type thing. So it's I feel like it's okay for you to start it with like just a passion and just like let's do it, and then people love it and you just go with it type thing. I think it's just kind of a natural progression thing from my perspective.
Yeah, no. And I have been on that other side that you mentioned where it's like it's a desperation thing where you're just like, gotta make it work. Gotta make it work. This is all I got. This is my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been there, and
this next song has to be the one.
Yeah,
there's like so much pressure sometimes. There's this music video or this one thing, it's gotta blow us the fuck up,
Yeah, it's gotta be.
That's how people pay for features and get fucking way too expensive music videos for like something that people aren't even gonna resonate with in the first place,
And then you go out and you tour a bunch, it doesn't work out, shit like that. Like been there, man. And like I don't regret any of that. Like all of that shit was awesome, and like I've had like such a good time like pursuing music the way I have for as long as I have. I don't take any of it back, but I'm just older now and like comes from a different place, and like yeah, I don't know. I'm just grateful to still be around. I'm grateful to still like have the chance to play and to do this. And I'm more grateful that like, it seems like this band is like something people like really gravitate towards. And I do appreciate like the kind words about like, kind of like the spirit where this band comes from, like kind of like there's like the MySpace deathcore thing, and like, I do recognize that like we're seen as like kind of like a big player in like that grouping and everything. And yeah, I mean, that is like the spirit with which we started the band. Like that's where, we come from. That's, we lived those days, we lived those shows, so we were just like, yeah, we want to do that, and then maybe somewhere down the line, like people who like this band will find out about Terror or something.
Dying Fetus,
Yeah. I'm like, go to the book. That's the book we're reading from. But yeah,